Hello to anybody that cares to watch us. Let me just say, if you've been following me at all, you'll know I've been doing a series of "You Voted for Him" videos, and they've all been like 3 to 5 minutes tonight. I'm doing one that's going to be a little longer because I want to go over the deal with, hey, Terry, Trump's press conference in the Oval Office today with Zelensky and what a disaster it was and how disgusting it was. First, let me mention a couple of things from earlier in the week, and I didn't bother bringing the clips in for this. Um, but on two separate occasions this week, the one time he was sitting there with the president of France, and he said that France was not donating as much to the Ukraine as the US was, and that the European Union was not helping Ukraine as much as the US. And the French president actually stopped him and told him he was wrong, that they were giving much more than the US. And then later in the week, he did the exact same thing with the British prime minister. He lied about how much Britain was given and saying that Britain, everything they were given to Ukraine was a loan and they would get it all back. And the British prime minister was like, no, that's not true. He said most of it was a gift. So that was all leading up to Zelensky being there today. And like I said, this is going to be a little longer than my usual because I'm going to do that YouTube thing where I play the video and interrupt it here and there with my comments. So here goes. There's Vladimir Trump, and he's sitting there with Mr. Zelensky of Ukraine.
States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred.
First of all, let me just say he's aligned with the world, except the only countries in the world that agree with what he's doing are like Russia and North Korea and people like that. Everybody in Europe is against the way he's been acting. And he sits there and he's blaming Zelensky, saying, oh, he has a lot of hatred for Putin. Putin invaded his country and's been killing thousands of Ukrainians. But oh my God, he's overreacting to that. Okay, I'm going to try not to interrupt too much, but there's a lot going on with this. Let me pick it up again.
And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I will respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Okay. So let me just hit that a little bit. So JD asshole there said we had 4 years of a president running his mouth and not doing anything. Putin invaded the Ukraine in 2014. Okay, so the president at the time was Obama, not Biden, as he just sort of made it sound. But anyway, okay, it was during a Democratic president, during Obama's term. Now, this war is still going on, right? So it's been going on since 2014. Who was president after Obama? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? That's right. The president after Obama was Trump. So Trump had 4 years in which to do something about this. And obviously he didn't. Mr. I am tough. So just keep that in mind. It's like they want you to just totally forget that Trump had been president before.
Ask you,
Sure.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was,
he
I
killed.
was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly
but-
right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people are been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr.
are
President,
not
Mr.
strong-
President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because
It's wrong for him to come in here and talk about this in front of the American media. They invited him to the Oval Office. They invited the media to be there. And they think it's fine for them to sit there and tell him he's wrong about everything. But if he replies and tries to give his view, oh, it's wrong for you to be doing this publicly. You know, it's like, and let's remember something about J.D. Vance also. He's the guy who once said during the campaign, I think it was in reference to they're eating the dogs thing, because he was all on that also. And he said, the one time he goes, well, I am willing to lie in order to show people what's actually going on out there. Like that's supposed to make any fucking sense at all, you know? Anyway, let's listen to the jerk some more. And by the way, nothing that I'm showing for these next few minutes, however long it's going to go. I haven't cut anything out of the middle here.
you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for
Have you
trying to
ever
bring
been-
an end to this
Have you
conflict.
ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems? bringing people into your military?
We have
And do you think that it's
I will
respectful
answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of the
will
United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all,
No, I've never been to the Ukraine, but I saw stuff on TV, so I know everything.
during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know that.
bless. You
Don't-
will not
you
have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
Listen how
feel
disrespectful they
very
You
get.
will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You don't
was
have the
saying-
cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards. But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October, offering
I watched this before bringing it up, and this whole thing about have you said thank you is going to go on for a bit. And, you know, this is so typical Trump. Everybody's got to kiss his ass. They put down Biden. Do you think Biden ever said, oh, don't forget to thank us for what we send you? And although, they did say thank you, but it's like he needs them to say it constantly. I don't want to bring up other YouTubers. Carrie's here. He's going to know who I'm talking about that has that same kind of psychopathy of people are constantly having to, tell him how great he is.
some words of appreciation for the United States
what
of
are you speaking
America
about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country is
Can I-
in big
can-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank you.
president, $350 billion.
You
We
voted
gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
If
West?
you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our
By the way, I just caught that where he said we gave you 350 billion. That is something that the French president corrected that day too. He said, no, actually, you've only given 114 billion. Anyway, and I know that sounds like a lot of money, but not when you've got planes that cost millions and millions of dollars and stuff. But Trump always has to just make up numbers, and people let him get away with it.
military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
You see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you'd take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire?
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
For you what,
that
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means.
That was with a guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us,
You gotta be more thankful to Trump. You gotta be more thankful. And yeah, Kerry, you're exactly right about that last one you said.
you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you
but
saying?
So, watch this. Vance actually has to tell Trump what the question is. Oh my God.
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it?
So he's just
I don't
being
know. They
stupid.
broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with
And if they respect you so much, why did the war continue through 4 years of your other term?
me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe
Now he's
Biden
just going
scam.
into all the
Hillary
crazy
Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that
He's just
stuff.
rambling.
All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll
Again.
be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right. We'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thanks.
So yeah, let's sit there and insult the guy. Keep telling him, you're not kissing my ass enough. You got to be thankful. You got to be thankful. And then end it by laughing it all off. I'm telling you, what is wrong with you people that are still supporting this guy? Anyway, hey, I kept it under 20 minutes. Yep. Thanks for watching, Terry. And if anybody else watches this, thanks for tuning into it. I really wanted to make sure people saw this whole thing because I know I've seen places put bits and pieces of it out there, and I wanted you to see the whole thing. And I know I gave my comments during it, but like I said, I didn't edit it, so you can make up your own mind about how they acted and what I said about it. We'll see you later.
And that's the way it is.